Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Kaged Nation. My name is Kevin Jackowitz, and I am going to do a review for WWE SmackDown, and this is for May 29th, 2018. And before we get into it, you might be wondering why in the hell I live in Sarasota, Florida, and have got a hoodie on in almost June. Well, you know, it's been raining like hell outside, and I live with two girls who love the AC. So, coming in from the rain, plus AC equals hoodie. There you go. So let's get into SmackDown. You're starting out with one of my favorite personalities so far, Samoa Joe. He's really, really good at promo. I think he's honestly one of the best at promo in the business right now. And he's talking about how his fight with Daniel Bryan, he's going to win. He's going to go on to Money in the Bank. Yada, yada, yada. Daniel Bryan comes down because Samoa Joe starts talking about how his wife and his daughter are they're gonna have to be explained to why Daniel Bryan's back at home and so sad and broken up. Daniel Bryan's like, you mentioned my family again, I'm gonna break your legs. And it looks like they're about to go head to head, and then Big Cass interrupts. Big Cass, I don't see him fitting into this equation whatsoever. But whatever. He attacks both Daniel Bryan and Samoa Joe and says that Paige had already said that he has a match with Samoa Joe instead of Daniel Bryan. So backstage after the break, you get Paige. She's walking down the hall. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville are talking about how she's giving unfair opportunities, like to Asuka. So Paige says, alright, fine, Mandy Rose, you can face Asuka. And then Renee Young, a few feet later, stops her, and Paige is saying that the solving of the opening is going to be a triple threat match between Samoa Joe, Daniel Bryan, and Big Cass. And that's going to determine the last spot for the Money in the Bank ladder match for the men. So directly after that, you have your opening match is Shinsuke Nakamura versus Tye Dillinger. And I think they both did really good. I actually really liked some of the spots Tye Dillinger did and trying to get heat over like Shinsuke when he's like mocking Shinsuke's moves. I thought Tye Dillinger was actually really good in the ring and pretty good at the psychology of it. You know, he was actually doing really, really well. I don't know why in the hell they're not using Tye Dillinger. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I was rather impressed by what I saw in the ring. I don't know if he's been hurt or what, or if they just don't see it in him, but holy shit, dude. Like, with some of the people that you're putting the spotlight on, and then you have somebody like Tye Dillinger that you haven't seen on TV at all, really, I really thought he had a good showing. I really did. Of course, he hasn't done much, so you kind of know that Shinsuke Nakamura is going to go over, which he does. But I thought it was a really good match, and I actually thought that they had really good spots within the match. So that says something. They really need to start utilizing their good talents. The guys that maybe, I don't know if they think he just doesn't have it or what, but I was impressed. So backstage, there's an interview with AJ Styles right after that match. He's asked if he saw what happened to Ty, and he's like, yeah, I saw that, and I also remember what happened to me last week, but I've always been the underdog. Honestly, he's done that quite a lot. You know, I've always been the underdog, and I always come out on top. So that was that promo. Lana and Naomi have a dance-off after this. And I'm going to be honest, after a lot of the spots that I've seen on Raw lately with Bobby Lashley and the sisters and the barbecue this week, I thought this was going to be a travesty. I did. I thought this was going to be just something fucking stupid, pointless, and not worth seeing. And while it was a dance-off, and a dance-off is a dance-off, what can you say about it? I was actually pleasantly surprised. The first thing that I'm going to say about this is the first time I have really, really, really gotten behind Lana as a person. She came out, she was having fun, she was talented, she had some cool dance moves. You know, I mean, what can you say? But her personality really showed through in this spot. Like, she did her dance bit, and then Naomi did her dance bit, and that was fine. And then they kind of do this, like, little tandem dance thing for a second, where they're doing, like, the old school foot lock shit, and it was cool. And then they're kind of standing back to back, and then Lana reaches back and hits Naomi with a neck breaker. And then it's on, of course, you know, the two girls go at it, and then Naomi had the Usos behind her, and Lana, of course, had Rusev and Aiden English, and then so, you know, the fight breaks out. And so what could have been a really bad segment, I honestly didn't think was that bad. I tried to be objective about it, and to be very honest, I did not hate it. I thought it was, like I said, it was a time that Lana's personality came out. And that's what she really needs more of. Coming back with the neck breaker, you know, it was kind of cool because everybody was having fun and it looked like everybody was getting along. And then it was kind of unexpected. Because honestly, I didn't know what they were going to do with that angle or not. I mean, so it was kind of a cool moment there. I liked it. Honestly. And that's the thing is, like, I don't care if you have scripts where you have, like, these comedy acts or, you know, as long as it's good writing and it's set up good, I'm all for it. On Raw, they have completely fallen flat. And trust me, SmackDown has had plenty fall flat before. But I felt like this was not terrible. So you get backstage, very, very quick segments with the New Day all excited about their match, and then this really goofy segment where the Miz is blindfolded and he's like karate chopping at pancakes that Cesaro and Sheamus are throwing at him. Kind of goofy, but you know, I understand, trying to get a laugh. So that is the match that comes back after the commercial break, is New Day versus Miz, Cesaro, and Sheamus. Kind of a hard-hitting affair at points, which I liked, and Xavier Woods has really been exemplary. He has been on fire the last month or so. He really has. So, I mean, it was a decent match, for sure, and the end of it was Big E catching The Miz and hits him with a big ending. New Day take the win. As far as stakes, I don't know that there was really any stakes. I mean, it was just kind of a continuation off of a 1 week build-up storyline, so not really anything there. But it was a decent match. I'll give it at least that. Backstage, this I didn't really like too much. There was an interview with Gallows and Anderson, and they're trying to be funny but failing miserably. First, they're talking about Anderson's abs, and then he's realizing that it's not really getting over, and so he changes into a serious tone, which I'll give him credit for recognizing when something's not working and trying to change the tone a little bit. And then they kind of went into the nerd thing, which I'm just not a fan of. And then they get interrupted on a TV screen with the Bludgeon Brothers, basically saying, "Are you ready?" It was kind of a weird promo, though. They were talking about, like, bodies being liquefied and shit. And the first thing I thought of was a Matrix. So, yeah, just the whole thing was just kind of awkward for both the Gallows and Anderson and the Bludgeon Brothers. I wasn't feeling it. So, that, yeah, kind of a bad promo there, in my humble opinion. Then you get Mandy Rose versus Asuka with Carmella on commentary. And it was at this moment that I was like kind of smiling, because it's like, Carmella is the women's champion. She can't fucking wrestle. I hate her as champion. I don't care what anybody says. She is not deserving of a women's championship title reign. Period, point fucking blank. I think it is an absolute disrespect to the women that have busted their ass to become wrestlers. Having said that, Mandy Rose, who hasn't really gotten a whole hell of a lot of attention, to be very honest, comes out and puts on a fucking good match with Asuka. Mandy Rose would be about where Carmella should be. And she comes out, and as far as I'm concerned, fucking kills it with Asuka. It was a really good match. I really liked it. Mandy Rose really impressed me. The whole bit was Asuka comes out, Sonya Deville hits Asuka from behind. Mandy Rose goes on the fucking offensive really quick, has some really cool moves in there. This one like gut wrench suplex that she did, I really liked. And it fucking worked. And you can tell that this girl has been in there training and trying to become a wrestler. Asuka's already made herself a fucking wrestler. Everybody knows Asuka is absolutely great in the ring. Let's be honest. She has had so many amazing matches in NXT and even coming up on Raw with like the likes of Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. And so you have Mandy Rose, who is doing very good. You have Asuka, who is very good. You have Sonya Deville, who I think has a hell of a lot of potential. And then you have the SmackDown Women's Champion, who couldn't fucking wrestle her way out of a wet paper bag. And all three of these girls are better than her. And I'm just like, oh, God, I hope that fucking eats at you. So anyway, Asuka comes away with the win. Of course she does. You know, she's coming in looking beast for Money in the Bank, facing Carmella. And then Carmella walks in the ring, holds up the title, doesn't do anything. Her music hits. She moonwalks back, and that was that. So then you get a backstage segment where you've got Charlotte and Becky Lynch. They're watching the match with Asuka. Asuka just won. Charlotte's like, I can see it now. Asuka wins the belt. I win the Money in the Bank briefcase. She goes on to cash in. And Becky Lynch is like, well, wait, maybe you need to look to your left, because of course she's standing to her left. And she's like, there's the winner of the Money in the Bank briefcase. And Paige walks up and she's like, this is what I love about the women's division right now. You guys got so much fire. And so she sets up a match for next week with Charlotte against Becky Lynch, which should be pretty damn good. And then you get a really quick thing with Andre Cien Almas and Zelina Vega. They step out of the dressing room. Sin Cara walks up to Almas. They're saying whatever they say in Spanish. Apparently they've been friends for a while. They used to work together somewhere else. Zelina's like, well, he's a different guy now, and blah, blah, blah. And then Cien Almas says, don't talk to me, basically. And Sin Cara is just left standing there because they walk away. And then you get the triple threat match at the end. Samoa Joe versus Big Cass versus Daniel Bryan. I thought it was a pretty good match. Anytime you get Samoa Joe and Daniel Bryan in the same match together, it's going to be a good match. And honestly, I really wish they would have just left Big Cass out. To be very honest, I think Daniel Bryan and Samoa Joe one-on-one would be a hell of a match. When you put somebody that doesn't work at their caliber, you're just going to lessen what the match is, and that's exactly what happened. And I'm not hating on Big Cass, honestly. He's just not the caliber of Samoa Joe and Daniel Bryan. So that it just is what it is. So there was a lot of back and forth, a lot of near falls, a lot of saving. And I will say there was one point where, speaking of Big Cass not being up to par with the other two, Samoa Joe was pinning Daniel Bryan, and Big Cass is supposed to fly in for the save, and he like just barely taps Samoa Joe's back, and of course he goes flying off of Daniel Bryan, and it just looked really bad. At the end, Daniel Bryan was going to pin Big Cass. Samoa Joe wraps up Daniel Bryan in the Coquina Clutch, and Bryan passes out. Samoa Joe gets the win. He's going to Money in the Bank. I didn't like the end because I think everybody was rooting for Daniel Bryan. And I'm not going to say that it wasn't a good end and it wasn't a fitting end, because I'm not going to lie. Samoa Joe, he's great. He's absolutely beast. The guy is hellaciously good on the mic and in the ring, so I'm not going to hate on Samoa Joe winning. I'm really not. Daniel Bryan's my guy, and I'm a little disappointed he get the win, but I can't fault it too much because, as I said, when Rusev beat Daniel Bryan, he can't win them all, and, you know, Rusev was over, well, Samoa Joe's even more over, and I think he would really add a cool element to the ladder match. I really wanted Daniel Bryan to get in there, though. I'm ready for him to have his next championship run. I think we all are ready for that. Daniel Bryan fans, he's certainly one of the best workers in the business and got the most heart out of anybody I think I've ever seen. So it would have been cool. But it's like, well, what do you do with Daniel Bryan? Because let's be honest, another fucking fight with him and Big Cass is a severely ginormous waste of talent. So, I'm disappointed that they didn't go with Bryan, but I can't hate on them going with Samoa Joe. And that's where I kind of stand with that. So, overall, this show, SmackDown, has been better than Raw again. They've definitely gone back and forth. I didn't like a couple of things, but overall, it wasn't a bad show. Like the Shinsuke Nakamura, Ty Dillinger match, I thought was pretty good. Even the Lana Naomi dance-off, I wasn't hating on it. Mandy Rose Asuka, Samoa Joe, Daniel Bryan, Big Cass, it was a good match. So I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. Not perfect by any means, but good and entertaining. And I think a lot of that goes to a really good women's division and Samoa Joe and Daniel Bryan. I'm not going to add Big Cass into that equation whatsoever. So yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. So ladies and gentlemen, that is my take on SmackDown for May 29th, 2018. Let me know what you think in the comments, if you agree, if you don't. And if you like this review, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Help a brother out. My name is Kevin Jackowitz. Kaged Nation out.